Good morning, Nigeria. You're tuned into another fresh and thought-provoking edition of Ways Breakfast. Hashtag What Are You Saying? Where we dig into issues that matter, stir conversations that challenges the norm, and spotlight stories that move our nation forward. My name is Oluchi Omenk, and I'm here with my brilliant co-anchors, Chioma Kalu and Triumph Akimboye. Now to our hot topic. Following the Super Falcons' incredible performance at the WAFCON, the president has announced a whooping $100,000 reward for each player and $50,000 for the technical team. Sounds like celebration, right? Well, not everybody thinks so. With the way the economy is biting, many Nigerians are asking, is this reward inspiring or irresponsible? Some say it's long overdue, others call it extravagant in tough times. And today we ask, evaluating the impact of the presidential award on the Super Falcons' success or setback. So you don't want to miss this one. Let's get into it and let's meet my ladies. Good morning.
Good morning.
I usually love the harmony that comes with it. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Very well.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed into what we have for you today, today is the birthday celebration of the one, the only, the indefatigable. I mean, how they used to call that English.
The most beautiful.
The most beautiful, the gorgeous, the Chioma Kalu.
Oh, God.
Happy birthday to you.
Okay, that's enough. Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Chioma Kalu.
You know, carry me.
The confusion for me.
You should have carried me.
You should have queued in now. Triumph. We used to do this thing for a while. How are you doing today?
I'm okay.
It's amazing. I mean, birthdays are really significant
Oh,
and
yeah.
amazing.
I take them very seriously.
So what's the plan for today? Where are we going to?
I'll tell you after now.
Now live. You know they take us
Happy
anywhere.
birthday
But
to
welcome
you.
to a great new year.
Thank
And I
you
pray
so
that this
much.
new year brings, all of your answered prayers to reality.
Thank you so
Amen.
much.
Amen.
Thank you.
How are you
Amen.
doing today, Triumph?
I'm doing very
Today is not
well.
your birthday, but let's still find out what's
I'm
going on
doing
with
very
you.
well. Aside from the fact that it was not very easy for me, getting to work. I don't know if it was like that for some other persons staying in Lagos, Nigeria. But for me,
I mean, it's
always
typical of
smooth
Lagos.
ride, right? But I'm glad that I am here, and I am glad that I get to talk to our people listening to us from wherever they are.
Yeah,
Right.
thank you so much, Triumph and Chioma. All right, we'll take a short break now. When we come back, we have interesting stories on the newspaper this morning, so you do not want to miss anything. Stay with us, and we'll be right back shortly. Welcome back. So what are your thoughts on these historical milestones? I'd love to hear your insight and perspective. Remember, you are the main ingredient in all of our conversation. This is already a song. We'd love to hear your thought. Please call us on our phone line 0702-500-7749 or 0701-424-2420. And if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, it's at Official Upgrade TV. Click the subscribe button now. Like, share the link, tune into channel 145 on your Go TV, and do not miss this for anything. We'll take a look at the headlines this morning from the Nigerian newspapers only. So let's start with Chioma for the punch.
Okay, stories making headline Guardian.
Guardian, yeah.
Guardian, yes. Top right, mob lynches police officer's son for beheading brother in Ondo. Center, NDLEA auctions drug traffickers properties in Lagos, Kano, Ondo, and Ogun State. Top left, 210 trillion naira audit gap. I needed time to get it right, NNPC boss tells Senate. I wouldn't want to dwell on that. Coming down, Northern leaders criticize Tinubu's record as governor. Others rally in defense. Another headline, Nigerians spent 1.3 trillion naira on PMS in June as Dangote marketers deepen competition. Nigeria's economy to grow by 3.4% this year, IMF affirms. And lastly, on the right bottom now, current security architecture can't contain insecurity, Governor Alia says. My story of it. Okay, before we go, the last one. Discos overbilled 2 million customers. Struggle with metering and efficiency. Now, that's my story of choice, right? Because power is critical in Nigeria. It's a topic we have not been able to exhaust. It's something we've not been able to move forward from. So it's either failed promises or overbearing cost. So I read something on The Guardian this morning. It says, despite billions allocated and donor support, only 542,738 new meters were installed in 2024 out of 7.2 million needed. So just look at the margin, right? It's just a lot. So even the cost of you not being able to provide a meter to, when you don't have all of these meters, right, you're given estimated bills. And that estimated bill is 95% not equal to what you consume. Okay? So I took my time. I went to think about what it means for the common Nigerian that does not have a meter, all right? A lot of them are struggling with the bills already. What you're consuming does not in any way equate to what you're receiving. Okay, let's even bring this band A thing that everybody has been singing. Oh, I'm in band A, 20-hour light. How many have you sat down to actually count the 20-hour? And then even if you get the 20-hour, the bill that comes with it, when you're not in, like, you can't control, what you consume. Okay, now for low-income families, that are just trying to patch life around, and they happen to find themselves around that band A area, and they cannot manage how they spend, the unit and all. Imagine the bill that comes to them, right? Imagine businesses. Oh my God, businesses. How it tells on their cash inflow and all of that, right? You don't have enough light, yet you're paying a lot. How do you marry the profit you make from your business? So I think this conversation begs more, analysis. And then again, I need us to move beyond, I need the government, right, to move beyond quoting money, promises and all of that. Fix it.
It's a very beautiful, what I call it now. I like that you've highlighted this because last week we did open up on the Electricity Act of 2023 and everything happening in Enugu State. The people that championed having to reduce the tariff from, I've forgotten the percentage now, but of course the industry itself argued that this is not sustainable and that they will go back to, borrowing money, there'll be debt and everything. And at the end of the day, even till now, there's no follow-up to that story. So it goes back to what you mentioned, that some of these topics are actually inexhaustible. We just touch on it, move on to the next trending story, and we forget that we have not sorted something that needs to be sorted. So I'm wondering why there is no follow-up yet. I don't know, I've not seen. Probably there is, you can call it to my attention, why there's no follow-up to what's happening currently in some states in Nigeria, that the state government had to slash the tariff because they wanted it to be easily available to the citizens. And then the sector itself said, no, we cannot carry this cost. And then we're seeing this new update as well. I think the energy sector in Nigeria needs a lot of calling and a lot of analysis. But we have to move away from that because Nigerian stories gives me a headache in the morning. Let's see what the Punch has to say.
Okay, but we are still going to talk about Nigerians. All right, so let us look at some headlines in the front page of the Punch newspaper. And the screaming headline here is Power Rotation Debates It's Up as North reviews Tinubu's scorecard. Another headline here is nurses shun federal government talks, begin warning strike today. It is also in the news that states accuse the federal government of sabotaging power sector decentralization. So I am just going to take just these headlines, but the part that I want to talk about is as regards the fact that nurses shun federal government talk and they are beginning strike today. Now, like you said, you don't like talking about Nigeria. However,
I like talking about it, but I'm not so impressed by some of the stories I see.
Yes, and the reports.
Exactly.
So for us as Nigerians, for us as presenters, for us as broadcasters, we just have to talk about it, because the more we talk about it, the more they are aware and the more they are expected to take action. So different sectors, from time to time, they come up with strike. We have different sectors. You just spoke about one sector. We have another sector here. Now, the nurses are complaining about the fact that the government, they are yet to meet their negotiation. And some of their negotiation is the fact that they are demanding for a review of shift allowance. Now, last week, I heard from, was it last week? Yes, last week. I was coming from somewhere, and I was hearing from a nurse, and she was telling me how that she wanted to work at a particular hospital, and the amount to work, it's on the island, the hospital is on the island, was 120,000 naira. I'm like, are you serious? A review of shift allowance, uniform allowance adjustment, a separate salary structure for nurses. So I think the federal government needs to actually look into their demands, because they are going through a lot. I think 120,000 naira is really ridiculous for somebody who went to school, for somebody who was trained, a nurse.
I don't know why this is hilarious to me.
A nurse. If it's that I did not hear this story last week, maybe I might not have talked about it like this, but I heard it. It was, I'm like, they told you, like they could tell you. Isn't it wonderful? So I don't know. They really need to look into these things. Both federal governments, both the private sector, we really need to look into these things for our nurses, because they mean so much to us. I don't know, maybe you have a different opinion about that.
Not a different opinion. The thing, I think one of the problems we have in Nigeria is the issue of brain drain, okay? Because the healthcare sector is not giving what it should give. Let's be honest, right? You go to school as a doctor, you spend 7 years, plus ASU strike here and there.
9 years.
9 years.
I have, when I went to school, I had friends that they were still doing this medicine. And some of us that got into school with them were done with masters. And you're wondering, what are you doing? And then you come out and they offer you 120,000? Come on, let's be realistic. This is, like I said yesterday, essential workers. These guys are essential.
Yes.
That's what they do. They save lives. So brain drain is inevitable in this country with the way we're going. Imagine being appreciated outside. You go, somebody actually knows your worth. Somebody actually wants to pay you your worth. And it's not under any irrational working condition. Honey, you will pick that over this. So I think we can't overflog this. We really need to do better as regards our healthcare sector. Look at our primary health centers. Sometimes you go to, I have been to a teaching hospital by 8 p.m. and there was no light. I kid you not. And I'm wondering, there are children at the ICU, right? Maybe some children are born premature, right? They have to be incubated. Without power, how are you going to do all of that? Do you understand? Exactly. They're all intertwined. How are you supposed to fix that? So I think something really has to be done.
Wow, what can I say? I'll tell you another gory story that will make us more agitated. And this one is on, it says here that FG cautions as Ghanaians allege ritual killings, prostitutions against Nigerians. This particular story, I'm just giving it as a teaser. Because of time, I won't be able to open it much more. But this is something to question. We've spoken about tourist behavior as Nigerians. Remember, I think in 1981, I can't remember the year exactly, that Ghana must go was a thing. Right now, we're seeing the irony of it. Nigerians must go. And it's not because they are just dominating, but there are questions or, concerns about their activities over there, criminal activities now. And that's why I'll just end that discussion. Maybe tomorrow we'll open it up much more. Okay, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we're heading straight to our hot topic for today. Remember, we'd love to hear your opinions, your own contribution as well as regards any of the topics that we have highlighted from the newspaper. You can do that on our YouTube platform, and definitely we'll read out every one of them. So let's take this short break and we'll be right back shortly.
I describe myself as a polyhumanitarian, someone who believes politics should be rooted in love for country and empathy for its people. I'm thrilled to introduce to you Politics Uncensored, a show dedicated to tackling the political challenges that matter most to Nigerians. This is more than just a show. It's a space for honest, unfiltered conversations about the issues that shape our nation. From policy reforms to elections, leadership tussles to governance at all levels, and the overall political landscape in Nigeria. We will dive deep into how politics is impacting our everyday lives. So join me on this journey as we challenge the status quo, spark dialogue, and work together to build a brighter future for Nigeria. Let's make our voices heard and drive the change we deserve.
All right, welcome back. Our topic today is evaluating the impact of the Presidential Award on Super Falcons, success or setback. Today we're stepping into a conversation that sits at the intersection of sports recognition and national economics. The Super Falcons recently delivered a powerful performance at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, WAFCON, and in celebration, the president announced a generous $100,000 reward for each player and $50,000 for the technical team. On the surface, it's a feel-good moment. After all, the Super Falcons are not just any team. They're 11-time African champions, pioneers of women's football on the continent, and have qualified for every single FIFA Women's World Cup since 1991, even reaching the quarterfinals in 1999, an African record. So they've carried this flag very proudly, often under harsh conditions and institutional neglect. But this reward has sparked a range of reactions. Some say it's long overdue. Finally, women's football is getting the recognition it deserves. Others believe that it's economic recklessness, especially in a time when many Nigerians are battling rising inflations, fuel hikes, and mounting national debt. So there's also a third camp asking whether this is globally comparable or just a grand gesture that masks deep structural problems in our sports system. So today, we ask, evaluating the impact of the Presidential Award on Super Falcons, success or setback. And to help us unpack this, we are joined by Ekene Dike, a respected football analyst and scout who has his ear to the ground when it comes to player development, policy gaps, and what football really needs to thrive in Nigeria. Good morning, Ekene, and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, so we're going straight into the discussion. It's a very critical one, and I want us to begin with the context. I am sure that you have followed women's football for years now. I want to firstly ask, what does this award mean symbolically now for the Super Falcons, and is it really, truly historic?
Yes, it is quite remarkable because the Super Falcons have achieved something that is remarkable in the history of women's football in Africa, winning a 10th AFCON title in a wonderful way because they came from 2 goals down to win the game 3-2. It's one of the greatest comebacks in football history. And the reward is truly sensational because they haven't been rewarded in a long time, and it's the first time they've been gaining their recognition. So indeed, it is quite astronomical.
All right. So some people say this is just thank you. Others call it a distraction from economic hardship. So what's your take? Do you think this is a national morale booster or misplaced priority?
Okay, from my point of view, I think it is a wonderful reward, but wrong timing because in the moment where the economy is in a state of disarray and the Super Falcons are rewarded in such a huge manner, there will be question marks raised about the relevance of the reward in such trying moments. However, it is something that they deserve, but if you look at it from a neutral point of view, there are other pressing issues in the country which have to be attended to.
All right. Thank you, Ekene. So I like that you already have said it's great, but the timing is what is wrong, right? I hate to play the devil's advocate, but I really agree. Now, my question will come from this other angle. Let's just say that, okay, it's good that they were awarded all of these things, but let me take us down the history lane a little bit. In 1994, the Super Eagles won the AFCON, the trophy, AFCON trophy at that time, and they were promised houses, just as Super Falcons have been promised. This promise was fulfilled 31 years later. These houses were given them in June 2025, right? Also, Choma Ajunwa, my beloved namesake, Choma received her promise from the Lagos state government 25 years later. What are the odds? Maybe we're just here, hitting our heads together. Oh, you shouldn't have done that. What if it's all your money? So I said all of that to say this, to ask this question. How do we hold the federal government accountable to keep to these promises they make to sportsmen and women? These people are doing great in their fields, if I dare say that, right? How do we hold them accountable? First of all, in all honesty, do you think this is another audio money, audio promise kind of thing? Do you think it's politically motivated? Also, how do we hold them accountable? I'm sorry, but the three of them, could you answer to that? Thank you.
All right. From my point of view, I don't think it is, in quotes, audio money. I think they have looked at the situation critically, and the $100,000 might just be an accumulation of all the rewards that they have missed out on, because we all know that women's football has not been recognized fully in Nigeria. So maybe they are just trying to accumulate all the past rewards they've missed out on, and just decide to just give it to them because they've achieved something wonderful. This is the 10th time they are winning the WAFCON title, and nobody has been able to achieve that landmark. Furthermore, as regards holding them accountable, we are now in the digital age where people make use of social media, and you can go viral. So if the government is not accountable, for what they promise the players, the players and the members of the 11-man technical committee can always, take to social media to speak about it. And what I've noticed is social media is a tool, to reach out to the wider audience and the world at large. So there are better ways of following up with failed promises. And as regards when they are going to receive their promises, in Nigeria, the government is capricious, so are we trying to, assume that, okay, for example, Michel Aluzi is 29 years now. So if going by the past, promises where they, go on to receive their promises from the government after 30 years, that means she's going to be 59 by the time, she receives the reward, which is quite ridiculous.
Well, thank you for that very hilarious analysis you just gave us. But it's hilarious to us because many times we're not the ones at the forefront of this. But it begs the question of really what's going on. I know you have mentioned that social media is one way we could hold them accountable. I think you mentioned it very briefly. But I really want to talk about the process that goes into it, like the protocol itself. To announce these rewards, it's usually a press conference. But after the press conference, what happens next? What are people signing? Who are the bodies involved? Who is following up on this? Or is it later, after 5, 10 years, that it doesn't come, to fruition, that people start running around in circles? So what happens after? I want you to speak from a football analyst point of view. We're not exactly football enthusiasts as much. I don't know if anyone here is. So we don't know what happens. We just saw the press release. And from a point of excitement, it was amazing. But what happens afterwards? The next step, that probably the technical teams or the people managing these players do, or maybe legal processes. Just let us in on how you think it works.
Okay. So when these promises are made, the modus operandi is that, it is not processed immediately. It is not an immediate effect sort of process. It takes a couple of years for the government to get everything done because there are other pending projects. So this will just add to, the list of things they want to do. Like, there are other projects like trying to, they are trying to make other policies, make sense in Nigeria. So this will just be part of, their to-do list.
Interesting. To-do list.
I don't know if I feel comfortable with to-do list.
Well,
Anyway.
I think Triumph has a question for you.
Okay, so the next question that I want to ask, because having seen Nigeria in different phases, different stages, I'm sorry, but sometimes I'm not quick to trust the things that I don't see yet. All right? So I would like to ask that, seeing the kind of record that we have had in the past, I mean, the promises that were made to these people was even more than the things that we even spoke about earlier. They also promised them apartments, and all of that. So my question is that, what if we have delays? How would this affect the national representation for these talents, for these women? How would this affect it if we eventually have delays? And unfortunately, that delay might not be loud. We might not hear about it. However, my question is that, how is it going to affect, our own attractiveness? Like, how is it going to affect us? That's my question.
Okay, so the truth is, these things are not fully understood in Nigeria because, like we all know, Nigeria is a very is a shambolic system, which it really takes the best of experience to explain. The truth is the country is not is far from a normal system. So when things like this happen, we can expect the best and also expect the worst.
All right, thank you so much. Before we take a short break, I'd like to just ask you, let's move away from the prize money now, since we have different school of thought as regards that. But let's look at the Super Falcons themselves and the football industry. Would I call it an industry in Nigeria? Owing to your own experiences so far, I'm glad that we're topping the chart in some ways. We've been taking, the awards, the trophy over time. But what do you think needs to be improved to really set us on global standards specifically for women football now? Because many times I think it's the men that gets the glory. They're the ones that usually recognize, but somebody even had to call them Super Eagles for you to know that not many know them as Super Falcons, right? So that means there are certain challenges that come with women football in Nigeria, even though they are really great talent. So what do you think can be done, to step us up a bit and, so that we can even compete on global standards?
Okay, so I'll start from the grassroots level because for any idea to be bettered and actualized or come into fruition, you have to equip the grassroots level. From my experience, from football scouting, I think the aspect of social media should be utilized more and video coverages. If you look at countries in Europe like England or a well-known country and powerhouse in women's football, which is the United States of America, they have put in more efforts into their grassroots system and video coverages alongside utilization of social media. For example, I go to watch a game between FC Robo and maybe Akwa Ibom Ladies, and the video coverage is not really top-notch, and they don't really have good social media presence and a YouTube channel, to upload videos. So if they can, focus on video coverages and portraying what they stand for or the quality of football on social media, I think things will improve in terms of recognition of women's football, not just in Nigeria and in Africa as a whole.
All right, thank you so much, Ekene. We'll take a short break right now. When we come back, we'll open up more context to this particular story. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, an in-depth analysis of Nigeria energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we will analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
All right, welcome back, our viewers, to our show this morning. We're talking about the impact of the presidential award on the Super Falcons, if this is a success or a setback, and even beyond the prize money. We're trying to open up what really happens in the football industry sector in Nigeria, especially for females. And we've been joined by Ekene. Ekene, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Great. So I like the fact that you mentioned something about, social media as part of a way we could elevate ourselves and bring ourselves on social global standards. And then I just remember that I watched a video from Rash. I think that's her TikTok name, one of the football players that really has been representing us well. And I think if it comes to that social media one, she's quite excellent with it. She has a following, she has the content, and even beyond football, she does Christian content as well. She opens the Bible, and it's quite amazing because if you look at her, based on some stereotypes that people have, you would not expect her to want to talk about Jesus, but she does that. So there's the content part of it and everything, which is from our own personal brand, right? I don't know how much of branding is done for each of the players. Do you understand? Because we're in a world where branding, storytelling actually elevates anybody from different sectors. So yes, that's part of the challenges that we've highlighted. But Chema has something else to open up for us. So
Ekene, so I would like to tilt towards the area of sports infrastructure and, welfare of these sportsmen and women, right? How are we taking care of these people? I'm saying that to point out, if you remember, Favour Philly is Nigeria's sprint sensation. She's excellent at her sport, right? And I think sometime last year, the Nigerian Athletic Federation notably omitted her name, right, in the 100 meters for both Tokyo 2020 and Paris 2024 Olympics, despite qualifying for these games, right? It was so annoying. I think I could feel her pain, right? As at May this year, Favour has transferred allegiance from Nigeria to Turkey. And that begs the question, how far can we go? How far are we going as Nigeria, as a system now, to take care of these people that we so much celebrate out, like she said, out loud? We push them out. Oh, we're giving you $100,000 to celebrate your win and all of that. But then the welfare, outside all of these accolades and all, when I need you to defend me outside of this place, I mean, imagine omitting me. It doesn't make any
really
sense.
Sadly, because they give their whole life
exactly.
to this,
and
basically.
Then she is qualified. She was qualified. So assuming it was a don't worry, I'll fix it inside. It would be another different story. But she was qualified. So how do you think the system can adjust this? Make welfare priority for these people?
Yeah. So, like you mentioned, that is a good epitome of a failed system, an omission from the world's greatest events, one of the greatest sports events is truly melancholic, and demoralizing for anyone to experience. And no surprises that she had to switch allegiances to Turkey, which is a better system. So for donkey's years, we have always been trying to make people that are the helm of affairs in Nigeria to be accountable for everything and to, avoid horrendous errors like this, that, are very bad. And so, as regards, improving on the welfare, I think there should be a penalty for everyone at, the helm of affairs that go against the the rule of looking out for the welfare of Nigerian athletes or sports personnel, because if there is a penalty, it will proselytize these people to act the best and not just act nonchalantly. Because when you have it at the back of your mind that if I fail to deliver, in my obligation to get things done, and I will be penalized. Maybe salary deduction or any way that can be effective. I think that would be the most efficacious way of bringing the change that we clamor for.
All right, thank you so much, Ekene, for joining us on this particular topic. We're going to take the conversation now to our ladies. Thank you so much. We hope to have you again on one of our segments that is sports inclined. So yeah, we'll see you again. Thank you so much, Ekene.
Thank you for having me, and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.
You too, Ekene. Thank you. All right, now, my ladies, football. Honestly, I think that there's a whole lot to unpack with this whole story. At first, there's way we could just get distracted with just the prize money. Oh, why are you giving them 100,000? Oh, 100,000 is small, a different school of thought and everything. But I like the fact that we've mentioned the whole welfare thing. He has given his own idea. I'm sure even before you ask the question, you have something in mind that you think should work, right? Because I think on this table we're solution providers. We can prompt, we can give ideas, we can give solutions as much as we can. So looking at the football industry, basically, even for women, it's a very dicey one. It's something that if you commit to, it's a risk, in the sense that your retirement is very quick. Unlike other industries and sectors that they retire 65, 70, 75, they retire 31, even though we know that that age thing plays differently. Because they'll say under 17, and somebody that is 28 is in under 17. Let's not go to that, to the politics that play in there. But can we really blame them if they do things like that?
We can't really blame them.
Do you understand? Because if we're retiring 31, I'm still at my prime. I think I can still play. Do you understand? So there's the politics there and everything. But there's also the fact that these people need intentional welfare. This story that you called out is quite saddening.
It was.
I've not really played a lot of sport, but I know what it means to be taken out of a major...
Something you qualify for.
I used to be a sprinter in school. I've mentioned this story a lot of times. I used to run last leg in school. At a point when I was going to represent my house, the color of, this color, red house, green house, I think I had some issues with, running at that point. So I couldn't represent as much. And I know it was like I was defeated. This sportsmanship lifestyle is one that comes with a lot of emotion and commitment.
Right.
They give their whole life to it.
Their whole life.
The training they give is a whole lot. 24/7. We have heard of stories of Messi and Ronaldo, how long they spend training. So imagine somebody giving their all. It's not a regular 9 to 5. It's a 247
thing.
Do you understand?
Down to what you eat, what you do, how you sleep.
The intensity of the training. So imagine people like this not given as much importance when it comes to their welfare. It beckons like, what are we really doing? Are we really trying to place ourselves on that global standard? Because I think abroad, looking at other football associations abroad and even other countries, how they pay attention to their players, it's like, oh, it's quite favorable, it's quite amazing. So what do you think are the solutions that can be put in place? I know you have mentioned some things. What are your own ideas?
I'm sorry, but I want to even... move away from football. Because now that's the thing. Nigerians is football. How many people talk about sprinters? How many people talk about, all of other sports, right?
But it's not only a Nigerian thing. Football is one of the most prominent
I get that.
sports.
Where I'm going with it is, when we talk about welfare now, you're thinking, oh, let's take care of it's Super Falcons that is in our faces, right? Falcons are on our faces. Oh yeah, even the Eagles, right? Away from them. How many other sportmen and women do you know? Do you understand? So it has to be an umbrella body, right? I believe the NAF is an umbrella body for these people. So why can't we take care of all of them? I should be proud to identify as a Nigerian. Favor Living Nigeria had my 100% support because I cannot train morning and night. Hard work got into that. And then you omit me. Like, I'm an afterthought. It doesn't.
What was even the whole backstory to that particular?
there
Was
should
it,
be more
was it
story
something
than
political that played out? Did she offend people in the higher
Or was it a
Because it
Lepo and Lapo
happens.
thing?
Yes, it happens. When you offend somebody that is signing your name, they will take your name out. Whether you are the best of talent, it happens in
Maybe
this
they
country.
choose
So
somebody over her.
I feel like we Nigerians, now talking about sports being emotional, leave the players, come to Nigerian men and women that love sports. You see men going hungry because their team didn't win.
Yes.
You see, you understand, they are visibly upset. So it's emotional for us. I feel like it should be us holding these people accountable. Because now when you hold them accountable, you have to stay true to it because some of us are very short-sighted. So when it's favoring you, when the whole mago is in your favor, it's favor. But then when it's not favoring you, it's maltreatment. So we all have to actually agree to hold these people accountable. Call them out if need be. Do you understand? Let's stop this politics we play. Okay, it's my uncle that is NFA president or NAF president. So he's trying, he's Nigeria. But then when he's not your uncle, you want to hold him.
Hold that person.
Do you understand? So we, first of all, accepting the burden to hold them accountable. I think that's where it starts from, yeah.
Before I allow Triumph to speak, pardon me, I think also, you mentioned something about in the moment feeling for Nigerians.
Yeah.
We probably remember these sports people when they win.
Okay.
When they... I'm also in this group chat.
I
haven't been following the Super Falcons, the Nigerian sports, what's it called? Area. I don't go there. It doesn't interest me.
Exactly.
But you see people that have never watched football before. You now saw them win. They are making our country. You were not there in their story from the beginning, from the middle,
Before they got to the finals.
Do you understand? So it's almost like we just like the moment part. And I think maybe that's what even plays in politics. The president, the first lady, not to call anyone out, well, let's even look at it. Yes, you came out to give prize money. You came out to award them. But before they brought that win home, how invested have you been in their career?
Right.
Do you understand? That's when, if you give them $1 million, it makes sense because you've been following through. Do you understand? But let me hear what Triumph
Okay,
has
so
to
what
say.
I would like to add is that now for the, you mentioned how that, the the moment thing, right? Yeah. And I feel like that is where we now, that is where we actually miss where the event actually happens. You mentioned that not just football, what about the other activities that happen? Who are the people supporting these people? Who are the people coming through for these people? Who are the people that are ready? There are some other things. When we go into the entertainment industry, we have more information about that industry than this industry, than sports, than the people that are actually representing us in a more serious thing. I beg to say, well, I'm not apologetical about it, but I would like to say that we are not paying attention to these people. Even if people can literally tell what an artist to look like while it was growing.
Yes.
But you don't even know. I did not know Rashida when she was when she was starting out and all of that. I feel like we should pay more attention to these people. If you are interested in certain activities, certain sport, follow through with these people. If you are the only one, just like you said, it starts from us. If you are that one person that you can, follow through with this particular person, because honestly, football is the popular one. Football is the one that is on everybody's lips.
Even globally.
Globally.
Most popular sport.
However, every other sport demands everything from you. So I think we should also give them back everything.
You're very right. Thank you for mentioning that. Entertainment, we know the Tiwa Savage, the Davido,
we
the
know
Wizkid.
everything.
I mean, you can describe how they look like. You see different people. But when it comes to the sport people, how many of them do you know? I was trying to get Rash's name. I think I know her first name as Rash, but I think I know her blue hair, so myself, I'm trying. Do you understand? So I think we need to start paying more attention to them. Start giving them their recognition.
Give them
because
the recognition they deserve.
They do a whole lot. I mean, I don't really know much about
There are
training.
some deals. There are some, we know a lot of, deals, brand deals, influencing deals, promotion, even from both the government and private, federal government, the private institution that is coming. These things can go to these people too.
Well, sorry to cut you. I'm really sorry. But I actually agree. But I was going to add that I will commend a few Nigerian brands now that are beginning to bring in the sportsmen and women. You know, they're beginning to, I've seen a couple, not to give any promotions, but I've seen a couple of these brands
On
bring
major
them
deals,
in.
not
Yeah,
the one
major
that's to do with
deals.
sneakers. The one that's to do with Panadol, pain relief. Not that, I mean major deals.
It's relative to their job. So
not
give
relative,
them
it's still a
credit.
bit
They should get
stereotypical.
more attention.
They can get more attention
They
because
can
even
get
these
better
entertainment
attention.
people, you give them gigs that are not basically
Related.
every time entertainment. So
Right.
why should you stereotype to pain
Panadol,
relief?
come on.
Because I'm always working hard. I think it can go more than that. So as we
can
wrap
get
up the
better.
show, we cannot but talk about this buzz with the whole prize money. I think even on prime time yesterday was discussed. And I don't know if you watched OS video, a lot of people were on the comment section saying, you people should leave them alone and everything. But we gave a perspective yesterday that our nation, we're not there yet where we can be giving money. It gives the idea of, let's say you attend a rich man's school and then maybe you as a parent, you know that you cannot afford certain things, but because you see your child's friend is always bringing caption and all, then you start doing that for your child, whereas you know your own income. So that's the kind of play I am seeing here. But let's have your own thought about it. We've mentioned it subtly, but what do you think?
I think that if they come out...
Do you think it was an overstretch, firstly? Based on our economic realities. Let me put the question very simple.
I don't think it was overstretched. Why do I not think that it was overstretched? Because we have also seen some things that they do that is way more than that. And they make the money happen for it.
Okay.
And there are things that we are complaining about that we are not seeing. We are not even seeing the result of it. So now this one that they can account for, let them do it. We are seeing some other things, you know, they come out to say, oh, they pumped certain billions of naira into something. We will not see it. So if they are saying that they are coming out to give a certain amount, and we are going to see it, and it is those people that actually they're deserving of this award, of these prizes, of this houses and all of that, please give them.
How about you, Chima?
Whether you sacrifice for it, whether you make it happen, whether you borrow for it, I think they should give them the money.
Really?
They deserve it.
Borrow
yes.
for it?
Yes. Don't they borrow for other things?
Let's not go there.
No, what I'm saying is that we are just talking from the perspective of Nigerians because we are seeing that they are giving. They, up there, they do things much more than we can think about. So let's not say it's not something they can do. When it comes to the place of sacrifice, the things these people sacrifice to do some things that even sometimes are not right, when you see the kind of sacrifices that they do, then you will know that I don't think it's too much. If they don't have it, they make it happen. They should make it happen. At least we see that.
Well, if that's the case, they should make it happen in every other sector.
In every other sector.
Because that's what's making people raise eyebrows. If you really can make things happen, not just in sport, in this healthcare that we've mentioned, nurses are going on strike. Make it happen there.
And I think another reason why they might be doing this is just for the what's it called of it, so that we can see that they are doing something. Please do it in every other thing too.
Chairman,
it's not too late to come out and say, okay, we overpromised. Honestly, it's better than not fulfill. It's better than
31
keeping.
years
Yes,
later.
it's better than 31. So it's not too late to come and say, okay, after much consideration, after a 33-man closed-door meeting, we have concluded that we are not there yet as a nation. So we would reduce. However, we are not going to give you anything at all. We will slash it.
We'll give it in installments.
No, not installments.
We can spread it across their career.
They are implicating themselves. Just pay one-off, small price. That's what I think. That's what I really think.
Honestly, I think this conversation has really opened up a whole lot for us. But let's agree, the Super Falcons, they've earned their applause 1,000 times over. But as we clap, we must also ask, are we building systems that allow the next generation to rise? Or are we giving flowers to champions while ignoring the road? Because in the end, true progress is not the size of the check, but in the strength of the structure. And that's something we emphasize today. So thank you to our viewers for staying with us on Ways Breakfast. Thank you to my co-anchors, Chioma, the birthday girl, and Triumph Akimboye. So until next time, stay curious, stay hopeful, and we'll see you again. Bye.
Bye.